Today, I'm going to give you a psychological weapon I learned from 500 of the most powerful people in the world. A weapon that means nobody can ever beat you emotionally again. But I have to warn you, if you close this video in the next 30 seconds, you'll spend your whole life being a slave to other people's reactions. Stick with me for 10 minutes, and I'll give you the secret a legendary steel tycoon once told me in a private study. Late at night, he said, "Jonathan, this technique is only for people who can handle it. Everyone else will misuse it. So tell me, are you ready?" I've spent my whole career studying one thing: the people who never quit. I sat in the homes of over 500 self-made millionaires and industry leaders. I ate dinner with them. I wrote down everything they said. And the strangest discovery: these people weren't more talented. They weren't luckier. There was exactly one thing that separated them. Their minds couldn't be shaken by outside noise. Insults came, they smiled. Rejection came. They moved to the next opportunity. Failure came. They took the lesson and kept walking. It was like they had an internal switch that controlled their emotions. Today, I'm handing you that switch. I once visited the workshop of a famous inventor. A sign hung on his wall: "Not everything deserves your attention." I asked him what it meant. He told me, "Jonathan, I get over 100 messages every single day. Someone's criticizing my experiments. Someone says I'm wasting my time. Someone's giving me advice on how to run my life. If I answered every message, I'd never get any work done." So he built a mental filter. He showed me a small notebook with only 5 names written inside. "These are the only 5 opinions that matter to me," he said. "Experts in my field. People who've actually achieved something. People with good intentions. People ahead of me. Everyone else is just noise, not fact." Now let me tell you about the most painful year of my life. In 1929, the stock market crashed, and I lost everything. My house, my savings, my business. People laughed at me. "There's the man who writes books about success and can't even keep his own money," they said. I lived in a tiny apartment. Some nights I went to bed hungry. One night, I broke down completely. I thought maybe they were right. Maybe I really was a fraud. I couldn't sleep that night. At 4 in the morning, I got up and pulled out every notebook I owned. 20 years of research, hundreds of interviews, thousands of pages. I read through them one page at a time. The words of great industrialists, the philosophy of self-made men who'd built empires from nothing. By 6 in the morning, I found my answer, written in my own handwriting from years before. Success isn't about never falling. It's about rising every time you fall. I couldn't sleep that night. At 4 in the morning, I got up and pulled out every notebook I owned. 20 years of research, hundreds of interviews, thousands of pages. I read through them one page at a time. The words of great industrialists, the philosophy of self-made men who'd built empires from nothing. By 6 in the morning, I found my answer, written in my own handwriting from years before. Success isn't about never falling. It's about rising every time you fall. In that moment, I realized something uncomfortable. I had been teaching principles I had never actually tested on myself. Now came the real test. Would I do what I'd been telling everyone else to do? From that day, I made a decision. I wouldn't just write about my philosophy. I would live it. Over the next 3 years, I rebuilt everything, stronger and wiser than before, because I finally applied everything I had learned. Today, those same ideas have reached over 100 million people. So here's the question for you. When your real test comes, will you do what you already know, or will you give up? Here's the last and most powerful technique, one I learned from a former U.S. president I once interviewed. Every single day of his presidency brought attacks, criticism, controversy. I asked him how he kept going. He said, "Jonathan, I made myself one rule. I only fight the battles that move my mission forward. Everything else is a distraction." He showed me his private journal. On one page, "Battles I will fight policies that help my country, decisions that shape the future, actions that match my values. On the next, battles I will ignore, personal attacks, political drama, media controversy, other people's opinions. He told me, reacting to everything isn't strength, it's weakness. Real strength is being selective. That conversation changed my life. The more you react, the more control you lose. The more you let go, the more powerful you become. So here are your 3 tools. 1, the 5-second emotional reset. Feel it, accept it, release it, move on. 2, the mental filter. Only really listen to the 5 people who are at your level or above it. 3, choose your battles. Stop reacting to everything and start being selective about what actually deserves your energy. Here's what 25 years of research taught me. 95% of people consume advice like this and never use it. Only 5% actually apply it. And that 5% is the group that succeeds. So today, you get to choose which group you're in. Life doesn't go to the people who deserve it most. It goes to the people who actually take action. I'll be here again next week with more lessons like this one. But walking the path, that part's on you. So go. Show the world who you are. Years later, I met a heavyweight champion who'd been knocked down more times than anyone in his sport. I asked him how he kept getting back up. He said, "Jonathan, the crowd only remembers the knockdown. They never count the seconds after. When I'm on the canvas deciding whether I'm done, that decision, not the punch, is the whole fight." He told me he had a rule. Never make a permanent decision on a temporary floor. Wait until you're standing again before you decide anything about your future. That single rule, he said, was the difference between the fighters who retired bitter and the ones who came back champions. One of the wealthiest men I ever interviewed showed me a drawer full of letters, angry letters, defensive letters, letters answering every insult that had ever been thrown at him. Not one had ever been mailed. "I write them to get the anger out of my body," he told me. "Then I burn them. The person who hurt me never gets to see how much power they had over my night." He called it the difference between processing an emotion and broadcasting it. Process it in private. Never hand your enemy the satisfaction of watching you bleed in public. A pilot I once flew with told me something I never forgot. "Every person criticizing your direction," he said, "is reading their own map, not yours. They're not wrong about their own life. They're just wrong about yours." He told me most people don't actually want you to fail. They simply can't picture a sky they've never flown in. So instead of getting angry at their doubt, he taught me to feel something closer to compassion. They're not attacking you. They're just standing on ground you already left behind. An old mentor once drew 2 circles on a napkin. One he labeled noise, one he labeled signal. "Every piece of feedback you get in life falls into one of these," he said. "Noise is loud, fast, and about you. Signal is quiet, slow, and about the work." He told me the trap most people fall into is treating volume as importance, assuming that because a criticism was shouted, it must matter more. In reality, the quietest, most specific feedback from someone who respects you is almost always worth more than the loudest insult from a stranger. Learn to weigh feedback, not just hear it. So here's what 15 chapters and 25 years of study come down to. Nobody who ever built something worth building did it without getting knocked down, criticized, or doubted along the way. The difference was never the absence of pain. It was what they did with it. Reset it, filter it, choose which battles deserved it, and turn the rest into fuel for the next morning. You don't need every person's approval to move forward. You only need your own next decision. Make it a good one, and keep walking. An old mentor once drew 2 circles on a napkin. One he labeled noise, one he labeled signal. "Every piece of feedback you get in life falls into one of these," he said. "Noise is loud, fast, and about you. Signal is quiet, slow, and about the work." He told me the trap most people fall into is treating volume as importance, assuming that because a criticism was shouted, it must matter more. In reality, The quietest, most specific feedback from someone who respects you is almost always worth more than the loudest insult from a stranger. Learn to weigh feedback, not just hear it.